Peace. This is Lord Akasha, and with this video, I would like to speak on knowing the true meaning and purpose of the story of Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden is the way back to true enlightenment. Now, the short story or the short version of the Garden of Eden is Adam and Eve were living in what would be considered paradise. They were free. And they were naked. They were one with their self and one with God. Until Eve was tempted by the devil and ate from the tree of knowledge. Now, what they don't tell you is that the nakedness that they were in, or that freedom and paradise that they were in, was they were living in their soul, not the mind. They were naked because they did not have a person. They did not have a persona. They did not have an identity. The tree of knowledge is the tree of psychology. It is the tree of science. It is the tree of logic. It is the tree of definition. It is the tree of identity. Eating from that tree caused her to fear being naked, which in reality is fearing seeing her soul. She was afraid now because she was no longer seeing through the eyes of God, or no longer seeing through the eyes of her soul, but she began to see through the eyes of a person, of a mind, of logic, of righteousness, of good and evil, of religion, of science. All of these things blocks you from who you truly are, which is a pure soul. You are just God. But it is the psychology that has been given to us that causes us to separate with one another, that causes us to fight one another, that causes self-hatred, that causes wars and indifferences amongst each other. We don't need a religion. We don't need everybody to understand one form of science. We don't need everybody to understand one way of looking at what is right and what's wrong. We need to destroy psychology. We need to destroy logic. We need to destroy science. Destroy identity. Get back to being naked, which is getting back to the soul. We need to get out of our minds and get into our spirit. That is where true paradise lies. Who we think we are, this persona, this prison that we are holding ourselves in, is what's keeping us from freedom. It is not the white man. It is not white supremacy system. They are, yes, indeed, perpetuating and giving a false sense of happiness out of keeping your person or your persona or your prison. They're making it appear as though it is the right way to live. But it is not. That within itself is a trap. There is no right or wrong if you're looking through the eyes of the soul. It is the mind that gives definition. It is the mind that condemns and creates separation. We must expand beyond a person, become free by removing the psychology, the logic, remove the mind altogether. In what we're calling the conscious community, we're seeing a lot of people debating different religions, debating different sciences. But if only they could see that they both are souls, so there would be no argument, there would be no difference. They would only see the beauty in each other. That is true freedom. Being able to only see souls. Being able to only look at spirits with no judgment, no condemning, no righteousness, no logic, no nationality. We don't need any of that. We don't need to take a DNA test to find out what part of Africa you're from, because you're not even really from Africa. You are a soul. You're an infinite being. You were always here. You will always be here. You are a galactic entity. So even separating by nationality is a trap within itself. This is all coming from the mind. This is all coming from logic and psychology. Once you remove that, then you can begin to be allowed back into the Garden of Eden, which is the true paradise, which is living out of the soul. No longer being entrapped by a person. We do not need to find self-love. We need to find your soul. And the soul does not have a person. The soul is not an identity. The soul is God itself. When we can recognize that, then you can truly be free.